In this video, I'm going to tell you a few reasons why you might have tried learning a language in the past, but you've given up many times. You might have promised yourself, oh yeah, I'll learn a language this year, and we're now in June, or almost June, so it's nearly halfway through the year, and you just can't keep progressing in your target language. Well, in this video, I'm going to give you a few reasons why. I'm James, I can speak Spanish and Italian, and I have 11 years of language learning experience. So, first point, you aren't seeing progress early on. So quite often, many of you might have started to learn say Spanish or Italian or whatever language it is, and you might have started a course. It might have been an online group course or an in-person course where it's say 2 hours or a few hours per week, and you sit down in a classroom or virtual classroom on Zoom and you watch the screen, the teacher shares their screen, and you have a look at course content. Normally you start with grammar, like I am, you are, we are, that sort of thing, and how words should be ordered in a phrase and things like that. However, it's not real life practice. You'll find that if you go and live in a country, which many of you might have done in the past, it's so much easier when you live in a country to learn a language because you're forced to and you're surrounded by it and it's contextual. And if you say something like you're in a restaurant or something and you say something like, oh, the bill please, or how much is this in a shop, for example, then you get instant feedback that what you're learning is working. So essentially, what you have to do really, rather than doing the grammar first, is learn a phrase. That's what you could do on holiday. For example, if you go to Spain or the country where your language is spoken, use phrases instead. Try a full phrase. You don't have to understand why it's grammatically set up that way. That's not the point. The point is you say that. You say la cuenta, por favor, which means the bill please in Spanish. And if the waiter or waitress understands you and goes, oh yeah, of course, I'll go and get it, obviously speaking that language, and they return with the bill, then you know, wait a minute, I said that purely in the target language that I'm practicing in Spanish or something. And then that makes you feel really good about it, which is an early win, it's called. So we need them when it comes to like learning something new, any skill, whether it's playing an instrument or anything. You need a teacher or someone to prove to you that, look, you can do it, you're capable. The worst thing is someone who you're trying to learn grammar or something, and someone saying, no, that's not right, you need to do more work on this, and you feel bad about yourself. You feel like you've let yourself down and you got so much further to go towards your language goals. However, with this way, if you learn the phrases at a time and also you just focus on bits that you need, you can get early wins because it's feasible that you can communicate with a native speaker without being fluent or without being at a certain level in that language. So you can see and prove to yourself that actually there's a possibility that I can communicate in this language, and if I keep on going like this, I can see so much more progress because even after just memorizing that phrase, I can communicate. Imagine what the possibilities are later on. On that note, I'm actually working on an online course which has a community as well alongside it, and it tells you exactly what you need to do, the exact steps if you're a beginner or very early on in your language learning journey and you've just kept giving up. And what it does is it tells you how to communicate with native speakers. Like what I've just said in terms of why it's so difficult with so much choice around us and it's still so difficult to learn language, this online course helps with that. And also the community alongside it, it has 5 different modules in the course with around 10 videos per module, so that's like 50 videos of content, and it's short, to the point. It's me completely talking to you in the camera, but going in much more detail than I do in YouTube videos. And also, as a benefit, it's linked to a Discord community. So Discord is free. It's like an app. It's like WhatsApp essentially, and a lot of people use it. A lot of creators use it, and it allows you to be accountable. And in this community, you'll also find other people who are also studying the same course. And the real benefit is that any questions you have while watching the videos and you're not quite understanding it, or you need some more practical advice or some tools, or where can I find a podcast for this, for example, for this interest, then everyone can help you. And I'll also be really active in it as well. So I'll be like, oh yeah, for that video for module 2, video 3, yeah, you can do this, and that's what I meant here. And someone else will come in and say, oh, I tried this, try using this, or try using this app for flashcards. So that's the beauty of it. And also, everyone who's learning in the course gets lifetime access to Discord. And the reason behind this is because I want to improve on my courses and see what pain points people have in the future, what issues and struggles people have. And to do that, I'm allowing free access. There's no monthly subscription to it, because if you've paid to access the course and you're getting help on Discord and from other people, then I want to be able to help you further, and also it helps me to know what people are really struggling with so I can help them in the future. So it's sort of a two-sided thing, and that's why you just pay a one-off fee for the course, and then you also get unlimited access to the Discord community from that. Importantly as well, it's not language specific, so it's not for Spanish or Italian, it works the same way. So I'm not teaching any specific language, it's more a case of this is how you would go about learning a new language from scratch if you wanted to aim for one. So Japanese, Chinese, any language you can imagine, our brain works in the same way. Same as babies, if they grow up in a certain country, they'll learn that language. This course tells you how to do that. So essentially it's more powerful than paying, say, £200 for a course to learn Spanish, because if you do it this way, you can use those skills and replicate it in the future, or learn multiple languages if you wish. Let's talk about timings and costs. So now it is the 31st of May, and I've given myself a month, so it's going to go live on the 30th of June. And there's a link in the description below on this video if you're interested. And essentially, the live price is going to be £49, so that's about $65 if you're in America. And more importantly, I'm offering a pre-sale discount. So anyone who buys the course between now and the 30th of June, you can get it for £4.99. So that's around $6.70 at the time of recording this video. So that is a massive discount. It's 90% off. So if you're interested, there is a landing page link in the description of this video below. Any questions as well, just feel free to write a comment on this video, anything you're unsure about. But I'm trying to cover every single pain point that a language learner would have if they're learning a new language and they're quite early on in the process and they're having all these pain points. So that's that bit anyway. I just wanted to let you know about the course that I'm working on because I've got about a month to let people know about it and also to let you know about the discount before it goes to its full price. So let's continue about why you might have given up in the past and why it's so difficult to actually learn a language. So you're trying to learn all the language at once. So I'm not trying to diss or try and say that language courses or schools are bad, but they're aimed at a group of people. So you might have, say, 20 or 30 people in your class, or even if it's 10 people. Everyone has, first of all, a different learning style. So I know I'm best at speaking and listening and understanding it that way. Occasionally, if I see something written down, that's fine. But you might relate that if you have to write something down or something, it doesn't work for you, or it might work for you better that way than another way. So some of us are learners based on listening and speaking, like myself. Other learners like to read books and write and stuff, and that works well for them. So it depends what kind of learner you are, but language courses don't take that into effect. So if you're not seeing progress with your language course, that might be a reason why. And also, everyone has different learning paces. So if you're trying to learn some new vocabulary or something in Spanish or Italian, and other classmates in your class or in your course are running a bit behind, that slows you down. And also, if you're not quite grasping it, then it's harder for you to sort of put your hand up and say, look, I'm struggling, I need help. There's a lot of social pressure there when there's a group of people as well. So bottom line is, don't beat yourself up if you've already tried doing a language course so far and it's not worked out for you. The content isn't ideal for what you want to use it for as well. So if, for example, I'm native English, which I am, and I want to learn Spanish or Italian, say I want to learn Spanish because I want to go to Valencia in the summer and impress my friends around the table speaking a bit of Spanish with the staff. What I wouldn't be interested in doing is learning about traveling or family names or pet names or things like that, or trees or anything to do with gardening. I would not be interested in that. However, within the language course, I'll be expected to do some study and some homework about other things that don't interest me really. So I would recommend, instead of doing that, focus on one scenario at a time. So if I do want to speak in a restaurant, for example, if I'm on holiday in Spain, learn what table for two is, or do you have any availability for today? So ready-made phrases like that, or like, can I have the bill please? Or is this spicy? Or can I have this without lettuce? Or do these chips come with salt on them? That sort of thing really. So they might be quite niche, but imagine what you would use in your native language in a restaurant anyway, like the food items. And then once you've got that sorted, that's perfect. Then once you've got the basic phrases, you can move on to food items like chips or ham or cheese or things like that really, and then cutlery. So you'd learn things related to that, and then you could go out and practice it and even use ChatGPT. Now ChatGPT is a great way of trying to learn a language and practice it without the presence of other people. So quite often you have to rely on other people, other humans, but if you don't have that at the moment and you just want to practice it, you can use ChatGPT. And I actually have a cheat sheet for ChatGPT, which are 6 prompts which are really basic, and then 6 more advanced prompts that can help you in any language. It's not language specific, it's just prompts that you can put into ChatGPT, the free version, and get help from that in terms of what phrases will be useful in certain situations. I've actually got a link in my bio, so you can click that and download that if you wish. One final point I want to make is that if you only focus on the content that's relevant for you, as opposed to doing a language course where it could be you're trying to learn everything at once essentially, then it means that you don't have to learn 80% of what's being taught to you. If you only have to learn the bits of Spanish for going into a restaurant and ordering food and stuff and food items, imagine how much less time it would take you to get to a communicative level or like a conversational level in Spanish doing that situation. That would be so much easier rather than trying to learn everything at once. So that's the beauty of just going for one thing at a time. And that's the purpose of this course that I'm trying to promote as well, that it literally fast tracks the amount of time it takes to get there. I'm not promising you'll be fluent, because that's not the point. The point is now you're a bit stuck where you are. You might be doing Duolingo or Memrise or a few You might have a daily streak, which is great for showing the habit that you can create and that you can actually be consistent about it every single day. But you're missing the early wins. You're missing the evidence that you can do it, because you'll have a voice inside of you that's doubting yourself. It'll be saying, "Oh no, I've never been successful at language learning in the past. Why should it be any different now? What's different?" And the difference is the techniques and tools you use to actually get to the point that you want to be at. So whether that's a conversational level or maybe fluency later on. But fluency isn't quick. That's not what I'm promising. What I am promising is that I can get you from your current level now to your desired level in much, much less time, because I'll tell you exactly what to focus on and the tools you need to be most efficient and work with your brain. And also, this process can be used not just learning Spanish or your target language now, but once you've got to a certain level in that, you can then switch to a different language and maintain it as well. And that's a future problem for me to create a course on, as to how to learn different languages and switch between them, like I'm doing now with Spanish and Italian. I'm sort of maintaining both languages, and I might continue to learn Portuguese, which I've tried in the past, but I want to learn that in the future. And I'm sharing these techniques with you that are psychologically learned, and I can't see them in any other language courses that are specific to a language. So that's why I'm teaching them to you. Anyway, once again, links in bio. Have a look at other stuff that I have as well, and see you later.